He's just
Hey, Wally, go ahead and pass it what you and Josh Howard was blazing over there, because I don't even know what you were talking about. But go ahead and continue on what you were talking about there, Ray.
As far as what?
As far as we getting on Dirk.
I think Dirk is underrated, but I wouldn't pass him the ball in the clutch. I'm not gonna lie. If I had a choice between him and somebody else, I do agree with that point. But Dwayne Wade in the finals, he stepped up. But he still had Shaq that year. So how can we anoint him a number one? As he's been a number one, he hasn't done anything either. If you're gonna say Dirk hasn't done anything.
The difference between them, one has a championship, the other one doesn't, which usually becomes a big factor.
Okay, what about LeBron then?
LeBron's just somebody else. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
You can't base it off championships. You can't. Dirk, I mean, I can't.
Test,
you can't
blame
it on Dirk alone.
It's the eye test. That's all it is.
I'm not going.
I mean, you act like we're saying Dirk is terrible. All we're saying is, I think Dirk might prefer to be that 1A guy than the one guy.
Well, I mean,
you can be Robin. There's nothing wrong being Robin.
Hey,
he's a superhero. What's the difference?
It's the way y'all said it.
To me, Dirk doesn't strike me as the type of player that has that killer mentality.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying.
That's a usual European.
Larry Bird.
That's a European. That's something Europeans do anyway.
He's not Jason Capono, but he's not Larry Bird either.
There you go. Yeah.
Who is he? Kevin McHale?
Nah. Kevin McHale was more tougher.
Kevin McHale was like what a 1C.
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe he's Tom Chambers. I don't know.
Tom Chambers could dunk though back in the day. Who is he? Larry Nance? I mean, you want to keep with the Tom Chambers thing? He's Larry Nance. Is he Thunder Dan? Who is he?
Well, he was KG, I guess, before KG got some help.
How's he?
I like that analogy.
That is good analogy. That's actually
KG was an awesome one-on-one player. KG wasn't the best closer himself. He still isn't. You know, so I think Dirk is a great player, but he's not a closer.
I'm gonna say that, but
every great player isn't a closer. Kobe isn't even the best closer, to be real. We saw that in Game 7. So. Man,
it's a girl in Colorado that thinks different about that closing part. But as far as other free agencies that's out on that market, I mean, the thing about it is all these the big names. What other smaller name guys you think is going to be out there that may really help a team win a championship?
I think David Lee.
That's a guy like that pick, though, Will.
That's a guy that goes under the radar for a lot of people because the Knicks trying to clear all the cap space and so intrigued with signing a big name free agent. I think they need to bring back David Lee. David Lee is definitely the type of player that can.
That's David Lee hitting the horn. He's ready. David Lee is ready.
Paul Pierce. I think Paul Pierce is going under the radar. Everybody could use Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce brings experience. He brings scoring. He brings defense. He brings flab. That's the only bad part.
He's skinny fat.
Well, I don't know. He does push-ups, I guess. But that's the only thing he doesn't bring, I guess, is that hard work in the weight room. But he doesn't need to. He has, like I said, scoring, experience. Paul Pierce, he should get picked up by somebody, but I guess he'll re-sign with Boston. I don't know.
Yeah, I stated the name earlier. Ray Allen. He keeps himself in good shape as a vet. You know, when you want to prove to people that you still got it, especially after a bad.
Does he still have it after that finals?
Especially after a Game 7, like he played. What actually a bad finals.
Other than that, what Game 3? Terrible finals.
After a bad finals period, you want to prove it. Ray Allen keeps himself in good shape, and he can still shoot the ball. So I think that's a good free agent if you want to build a championship team, just as a complimentary piece to your championship run.
I think if Ray Allen was to go to a squad like a more of a championship maybe caliber squad that needs somebody to come off the bench, to be honest with you, if I was Oklahoma City, I wouldn't mind even getting a Ray Allen. I mean, it may be a stretch for him. I mean, at this point, he still wants to start, but I think just to have a veteran of his type may help them in the long run as far as come playoff time, which they may need, even though they need more big men than maybe a backcourt player. But I know you wanted to say something over there, Ron.
I agree with you, Jeffrey. Ray Allen would be a good pick for Oklahoma City, but I think they need somebody a little, on the cheaper side.
Yeah.
On their books. But I agree with Will when he says David Lee. I'll look at Rudy Gay. I think if Joe Johnson goes to the right team, he could be that type of player. He's already He's already saying that he's going to take less money to go to New York and team up with Amari, just to be back with what's his name? D'Antoni, his former coach.
To me personally, when you hear those two guys talk about that, I really wouldn't want neither one on my team because they just looking to really just, I guess, it's a difference between playing ball and playing ball to win. Because right now when they say, yeah, I'll take a few extra less dollars, go play with D'Antoni, that sounds like, okay, I'll go play for my old coach, but I don't really want to win, because if you really want to win, I'm not going to the Knicks if I want to win me a championship.
No, you can get to the playoffs with them in a nice supporting cast.
Can
you win a championship with
Playoffs.
Hey, the Knicks haven't been to the playoffs in a while. They won, what, 1 or 2 playoff games in the last 10 years? Hey, playoffs will be an achievement. Second round will be an achievement at this point for the Knicks. And then you build through the draft later and free agency.
But as far as building through the draft, they done traded like all kind of picks.
Madison Square Garden is still the best gym to play in the NBA.
Yeah, I dunked in it one time. It was all right, though.
But yeah,
Sunset Park.
What time is it?
But yeah, I think Ron mentioned, Rudy Gay is a good pick. I think a team like Boston that needs more young players, that's a good fit for him to play with like a good veteran team, and you can add that young mix to it who's athletic. Rudy Gay, who's athletic, who can shoot the ball, and he's a mismatch. Himself. So I think that'd be a good pickup for Boston.
Well, who's a guy out there that you think the Wizards maybe should go after? Me personally, even though I think they would have to make another move to get him, I wouldn't mind seeing them bring Rudy Gay. I mean, he's not from the D.C. area, but he is from the Baltimore area. I mean, he's an outside shooter. They could use him. I mean, who's a local guy? I mean, well, who's someone you think the Wizards could use if they needed to go pick up a free agent?
I think the Wizards would be better off trying to get like Carlos Boozer. I think that would fit a definite need, a low post threat.
What about you over there, Ray?
I don't know about the Wizards. I think the Wizards are fine. I think maybe getting rid of Gilbert, giving him to the Knicks, getting David Lee here, something like that would be good. But I think Tony Parker can end up with the Knicks along with D'Antoni and Joe Johnson and start him out.
Is he on the block like that?
Yeah,
he is.
They really like George Hill after this playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And if say San Antonio was to give up Parker, who do you think the Knicks would even give up for him? I mean, who do the Knicks even have the type of talent to trade for Parker? I mean, David Lee's a free agent. That was probably their best option right there.
Wilson Chandler's a nice player.
Doesn't he even endorsed by like Puma?
Speaking from a Knicks fan.
Yeah,
he's a good player, but
he's a good player. But I'm not saying he's not a star.
On the right,
but
the Spurs, that would be a good situation for him. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
he's a
good analysis.
But in that case, you're going to have to come up with something more than Wilson Chandler. I mean, Tony Parker's. I mean, they're going to make the debate. He's an all-star and stuff like that. So you're going to have to throw something else in that package other than Wilson Chandler.
Tony Parker can fill the void of Steve Nash on that Knicks offense.
I agree, but
yeah, Ray, because you're our Tony Parker.
If you look at San Antonio, they might just be trying to just get rid of his contract. Because last year they made a push for the finals by adding Richard Jefferson, Antonio McDyess, Michael Finley. So they went over the luxury tax. So they might be just trying to dump salary. So Wilson Chandler would be a good pickup. He's a better player than Richard Jefferson, so I think that team will be better. Now, go back to Fitz Jeffrey was saying, who you think the Wizards should pick up? I'm thinking Udonis Haslem.
Would he be a good fit for the Wizards?
He's somebody that come in and show Andre Blatche, Booker, how to play basketball.
Why?
Because Andre Blatche doesn't know how to play basketball.
Well, I think if the Wizards were to get somebody, their best bet to go get a player they had before, like Brandon Haywood.
Well, they try and save their money. They want to go after Durant, Carmelo, Jeff Green in the next year.
Me personally, I don't think Carmelo's leaving Denver. They're going to spend whatever dollars is to keep Carmelo there.
Working on contract extension right now.
As far as Durant, I think Durant, he's not going to leave anywhere either. I mean, we need to talk about now instead of trying to put all your eggs in one basket for next season. Because at the same time, if the Knicks doesn't get anyone this free agency, where do they even go? They put everything they have in pretty much getting LeBron, and right now LeBron's not even looking towards that way. And what if they don't get the Joe Johnson, Amari Stoudemire? Where do they even go? Do they even continue to play basketball if they don't get anybody?
They'll get the #1 pick next year.
And get who? I mean, who they even gonna look at? But Ray, let's go ahead and finish this out. What you got over there?
What do you mean? For what? Stop saying my name.
What's wrong, Ray? Is that a problem, Ray?
No, not at all, man.
Thank you, Ray.
I got a commercial break coming.
For Ray? We're going to a Ray commercial break as soon.
Hey, matter of fact, hit my commercial. Go ahead. Hey, what's up? It's your man Ray Rogers of the Urban Sports Scene. And recently, Will T and I set out on a mission to see what the people think of our show. All right, there's Mike Wilbon right there. Wilbon, what you think of our show, dog?
I should say the next, it's the big thing.
Oh, that's what's up, man. We feel the same way. Coach Rivers, Doc Rivers. There's Doc Rivers. Go ahead, Will T. Get an interview with him.
Coach Rivers, how do you feel about Ray no longer being the host of the Urban Sports Scene?
I mean, Ray, he was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I thought I was great as the host, but it's all good. Big ups to my man Fish. There's Alvin Gentry, man. Coach Gentry. What you think about Fish being the host of the Urban Sports Team?
I've always been a big fan of his.
Oh, so you familiar with him before the Urban Sports Team when he was